Okay, it's Thursday, September 22nd. This is a morning update on the SPY. It's about an hour and a half into trading, and you can see so far we have what was expected. You have that red bar from yesterday. You're expecting that low of that bar to be taken out. So at the moment, you can see here from the open, you've moved a little lower. It's a red bar on the day. You've kind of followed through on this big 3-day to the downside, and we know on the weekly chart we still have targets down below, so your bias overall was down. In terms of the actual price action, because we had a lot of choppiness here at the open, you can see here clearly price on the first 15-minute bar kind of went down to our target, and then once it hit there, we did get that bounce because that's where you were taking out stops, but it only moved to the midpoint of the first bar, and now we've continuing lower. And the big buy, sometimes the SPY is a little tricky to trade on its own because you have a lot of different sectors incorporated in this. So there are a few stocks that are strong, other stocks are weak. So for me, knowing the whole scenario was weak, there were a lot of stocks to look at. If I look at my board of stocks, I ended up playing Tesla this morning, given what I saw developing in the overall market, and that moved down nicely for a nice gain. There were other stocks, for example, like Microsoft, that started up from the start, so you wouldn't really be playing that one in terms of the immediate open. You could look for a failure up here, but it really didn't develop as of yet. You'd watch for the midpoint of this bar to be taken out now in order to test those lows again. We don't know if it's going to happen. Other stocks, like Federal Express, I was watching, that moved up to start, didn't really give a great failure looking bar. But some stocks like Coinbase were moved down very nicely from the start, and so did Nvidia. So, it's a mixed market in that way. You got to sometimes pick the right stocks, but in terms of the SPY itself, everything's on target here. We'll just have to, I'll give an update at the end of the day. We'll see how this bar ends up. But you had the bias to the downside of the market overall. In terms of trading, sometimes you just have to pick the right stocks. If you wanted to pick the SPY to trade, I'm sure there were options here that you could have taken advantage of, and it's heading lower at the moment, so that's fine too. But just showing you here that at least for now, everything's going as expected. We'll just have to see how the day ends. And in terms of price action, in terms of the SPY itself, you do have one push down, pause to the midpoint, starting lower towards our target. So again, kind of an easy day today after yesterday to kind of know you have bias to the downside. You just got to pick either the right stocks or, in this case with the SPY, maybe the right options. But we'll just see, on this red bar, how much continuation we get for the rest of the day lower.